Leo was falling. The small scout ship shook violently as it entered the thick atmosphere of Talora 4. Red lights flashed inside the cockpit and smoke filled the air. The controls stopped responding. All he could do was hold on as the trees below rushed up to meet him. Then everything went black. When he opened his eyes again, he was lying on soft moss. The sky above was hazy, with purple clouds slowly drifting past. His head throbbed. He tried to move, but pain shot through his side. Someone was near. A gentle hand touched his forehead, and he turned his head slowly. Standing beside him was a creature, no, a person, unlike anyone he had seen before. She had soft feathers all over her body like fine silk. Her skin underneath was pale and smooth. Her large eyes glowed faintly, and her ears were shaped like a bird's, small and elegant. Her long arms ended in delicate hands with 3 fingers and a thumb. She wore simple clothes made from natural fibers and leaves. She looked like a woman, but not a human one. Leo gasped in surprise. The alien woman tilted her head and made a soft, chirping sound, like a bird calling in the wind. Then she gently pushed him back onto the moss and covered him with a warm leaf blanket. She spoke in a soft voice, but he couldn't understand the words. Still, her tone was kind. Over the next few days, Leo drifted in and out of sleep. The alien girl, he later learned her name was Kari, fed him with fruit, water, and a strange warm soup that tasted like honey and mint. She had made a small shelter for him on a large tree platform, high above the forest floor. Other creatures chirped and sang all around them. The jungle was alive and colorful. Kari rarely spoke, but when she did, it was calm and gentle. Slowly, Leo began to feel better. His ribs still ached, but he could now sit up and look around. He watched Kari as she moved through the trees with graceful steps. Her feathers shimmered in the sunlight. She flew short distances using large glider-like wings made from cloth and bone, and she always returned with food or supplies. Despite their differences, Leo felt something warm in his chest every time. She smiled. One evening, as the suns dipped below the horizon, Leo pointed at himself and said, "Leo." Kari looked at him, touched her chest lightly, and replied, "Kari." They both smiled. From that day forward, they began to learn each other's words. It was slow, but they found ways to share meaning, through gestures, drawings, and simple sounds. Leo worked hard to repair his comm device and scanner, hoping to contact his team, but Kari warned him that metal tools and signals disturbed the nearby animals. So he agreed to wait. In return, he helped her fix a broken glider. He used a mix of vines, strong wood, and some of his ship's leftover material. When she tested it from the high ledge, she soared far above the trees. Her laughter echoed through the jungle, and Leo couldn't help but laugh too. That night, they sat near a small fire made from glowing stones. Kari offered him a fruit that tasted like cinnamon and tea. She sat beside him, their arms nearly touching. They didn't speak much. The quiet between them was peaceful. Later, under the moonlight, Kari stood up and walked closer to the edge of the platform. She looked at the stars and whispered something in her own language. Then she turned and looked at Leo with soft eyes. She stepped closer and reached for his hand. Leo's heart raced, but he didn't pull away. He gently held her hand in his. Kari leaned in, placing her forehead against his. It was a gesture of closeness, not just of physical attraction, but trust. And in that silent moment, without any words, something passed between them. Later that night, they rested together, lying close, beneath the blanket of feathers and leaves. There was no rush, no demands, only warmth, connection, and the comfort of being together after days of fear and loneliness. The next morning, Leo woke to birds calling in the distance and light rain falling gently through the leaves above. Kari was already awake, sitting nearby and watching the forest. She didn't speak. Her expression was calm but thoughtful. Leo smiled at her. "Morning." Kari looked at him, nodded, and replied quietly, "Morning." but something in her eyes had changed. She stood up, smoothed her feathers, and disappeared into the trees without another word. Leo didn't know what had shifted, but something had. He didn't understand yet that this was only the beginning. Days passed, and Leo noticed a change in Kari. She still brought him food and sat with him at sunset, but her smile had faded. She no longer looked into his eyes for long. When he tried to ask if something was wrong, she would gently shake her head and say, "All is well." But her voice didn't sound the same. Sometimes she disappeared into the jungle for hours, only returning after dark. Her feathers seemed puffed out, like they were hiding something beneath them. She often touched her stomach as if checking for something, then quickly moved her hand away when she noticed Leo watching. Leo didn't know what to think. He had grown comfortable in her home, fixing tools, studying the forest, and learning her language slowly. Kari had taught him how to move through the trees without alerting animals and how to identify safe fruits and plants. She was strong, graceful, and full of quiet wisdom. But now, she looked distracted, tired, secretive. One afternoon, Leo found her sitting near the edge of the tree platform, holding a carved stone in her hands. It was shaped like a small egg, with glowing lines carved into its surface. She turned it gently in her palms, deep in thought. He sat beside her. "What's that?" he asked softly. Kari didn't look at him. "Old symbol. From my people. New life. Beginning." Leo nodded slowly. "You've been quiet." Kari finally looked at him. Her eyes were soft but serious. "I must think. Body. Changing." He tilted his head. "Are you sick?" She hesitated. "Not sick. Different." Before Leo could ask more, Kari stood and walked toward a nearby rope ladder. "I go now, Elder waits." He watched her climb down, her long tail feathers brushing the ladder behind her. Leo sighed. Something was definitely going on. Later that night, Kari returned with another Talaran, a tall female with dark green feathers and sharp eyes. She looked older, more serious. Her feathers were marked with white paint in shapes that looked like stars. Kari said softly, "This is Lura, Elder of the Sky Clan." Leo stood politely. "Nice to meet you." Lura didn't smile. She stepped forward and examined him with a long, quiet stare. Then she turned to Kari and spoke something quickly in their own language. Kari replied firmly. Lura looked back at Leo. "You do not know what you have done." Leo blinked. What do you mean?" Lura didn't answer him directly. She spoke to Kari again, this time more gently. Then she reached into a pouch and handed her a small bundle wrapped in glowing leaves. Kari accepted it with care. Lura gave Leo one last look and said, "Be ready." Then she left without another word. Kari sat down, the bundle in her lap. Leo crouched next to her. "Kari, what's happening? Please, talk to me." She didn't speak for a while. Then she said, "I did not know. It is rare. Very rare." "What is?" Kari placed her hand on her stomach. "Life. Inside. Your life. My life." Leo's heart skipped a beat. "Are you saying?" Kari nodded. "I carry egg. Not like your child, but part of you. In me." Leo sat back slowly, trying to understand. "An egg? From us? From that night?" She looked away, embarrassed. It should not happen. Not between Talaran and human. But something strange. Something strong. The bond was real. Leo looked at her, eyes wide. And now? Kari unwrapped the bundle. Inside was a pale blue, glowing shell. It was smooth and warm even from a distance. "It grows, slowly. When time is right, I will lay it." Leo tried to stay calm. "Is it dangerous? For you?" She nodded slowly. "Maybe." Our kind lay only one or two in a life. And this one? Mixed blood. I do not know. A deep silence fell between them. Then Kari reached for his hand. But I'm not afraid. You stayed. You cared. Maybe. This life will be strong. Leo felt the weight of her words. He looked down at the glowing eggshell. He couldn't believe it. A part of him. A life formed with someone from another world. Kari placed the shell back in the bundle. Tomorrow I go to the sacred place. It is where our eggs come safely. I must prepare. Leo stood. I'll go with you. Kari shook her head. Only mothers go. It is tradition. But I want to help. She smiled faintly. Then stay here. Make this home strong, safe. The egg will need shelter. Leo nodded slowly. Then I'll build the best shelter you've ever seen. For the first time in days, Kari smiled fully again. That night, Leo could not sleep. His mind was full of thoughts about the egg, about Kari, about everything they had shared. He didn't know what kind of future lay ahead. But one thing was clear now. He wasn't just a visitor on Talora 4 anymore. He was part of something new. Title: He slept with a feathered alien girl. A month later, she laid his egg. Part 3. The tribal gathering and the whispered secret Kari left early in the morning, before the sun had fully risen. She wore a long cloak made of soft feathers, and her steps were slow but full of purpose. Leo watched her glide down the ropes toward the jungle floor, disappearing into the thick mist. He stood at the edge of the platform, heart heavy. She had told him the place she was going was sacred, only for Talaran mothers. It was where the body and spirit were prepared to bring life into the world. No outsiders were allowed to follow. Leo respected that, but he still worried. With her gone, the treehouse felt quiet and cold. He tried to distract himself by working. He gathered wood, vines, and pieces from his broken ship. He began building a shelter next to the platform, something strong, something worthy of a child. As he worked, he remembered Kari's words. Make this home strong, safe. He smiled. I'll do more than that, he whispered. I'll make it the best place on this planet. While he was tying vines around a support beam, a soft voice called out from above. Human. Leo looked up. A young Talaran male was perched on a nearby branch. He had dark feathers, sharp eyes, and wore a cloak of green leaves. Leo recognized him from before, the one who always stared at him during market visits with Kari. My name is Rune, the Talaran said. Leo nodded. I'm Leo. Rune jumped down lightly and walked over. You stay here, even while Kari is gone? Yes. I'm building something. Rune looked at the growing shelter. You know she is carrying an egg. Leo paused, then nodded. Yes, she told me. Rune tilted his head. You are not like us. Your blood is not Talaran. I know. And yet, the egg grows. Leo stood straight. I care about her. I won't leave. Rune didn't reply right away. Then he said, Some elders are not happy. They believe this is a mistake. They say a child born from two worlds will bring storms. Leo clenched his fists. What do you believe? Rune paused. Then with a softer voice he said, I do not know, but Kari trusts you, that is rare. With that, Rune turned and disappeared into the trees. Leo returned to his work, faster now. He needed to finish before Kari returned. He didn't know how long she would be gone. On the second evening, drums echoed through the forest. The tribe was gathering. Leo followed the sound, walking carefully across bridges and vines until he reached the great circle, a wide open platform surrounded by tree lights and marked by carvings. Talarans of all ages had gathered. Some looked at him with curiosity. Others frowned. At the center stood Lura, the elder who had visited Kari before. She raised a hand, and silence fell. She spoke in the Talaran language. And though Leo could not catch every word, he understood enough. She was talking about Kari, about the egg, about the future. Then she said a word he had not heard before. Lincoln. Leo leaned toward an older Talaran nearby. What's that word mean? The elder looked at him, his eyes narrowing. It means child of joining. A rare one. A life made from two different kinds. Leo whispered. That's what Kari's carrying? The elder nodded. Yes. It has not happened in many generations. Last time, it did not end well. The drums beat once more. Then, as the sun sank lower, a new sound came from the trees, a soft rising song. Kari stepped into the light. She moved slowly but proudly, the feather cloak trailing behind her. Her eyes met Leo's and she gave a small nod. In her hands she carried a glowing bundle. She walked to the center, placed it on a raised stone, and stepped back. The bundle shifted. A hush fell over the tribe. Kari spoke. Her voice was strong, but gentle. This egg holds hope, not just for me but for what can be. It is life, new, different, but not wrong. Laura stepped forward and examined the bundle. After a long pause, she turned to the crowd and nodded. It is real, she said. And it lives. Some Talarans cheered quietly. Others looked away. Kari walked to Leo and took his hand. Come, she said. They stood together as the tribe watched. Later, as night fell and the crowd slowly faded, Kari and Leo sat beneath the stars. The bundle was now beside them, warm and glowing softly. I thought they might reject it, Leo whispered. Kari nodded. Some still fear, but Laura has seen it. They cannot deny it now. Leo looked at the bundle. It's beautiful. Kari leaned her head on his shoulder. It will need care. Both kinds. Talaran and human. I'm not going anywhere, Leo said. Kari closed her eyes. Then it will be strong. As the jungle whispered around them and stars filled the sky, Leo knew something important had begun. Not just a life, but a change, a bond stronger than fear, a future full of unknowns, but also full of hope. Kari stayed in the sacred nesting place for the next few days. The glowing egg rested on a bed of soft moss and feathers, inside a dome-shaped nest made from vines and warm stones. It pulsed gently with light, as if alive with a heartbeat. Leo visited her each day carrying food, tools, and cloth from their shelter. He spoke softly to her, offering help, but he could see the tiredness in her eyes. She smiled less now. Her movements were slower. Laying the egg had taken much of her strength. You need to rest, Leo told her one evening as he placed a warm drink near her. Kari nodded slowly. I try, but I worry. Leo sat beside her. About the egg? She shook her head. Not the egg, the tribe. Some do not accept this. They fear it. Leo looked at the small glowing shape between them. But it's not something to fear. It's part of you. And part of me. Kari leaned her head back. Not all Talarans see it that way. Some think the child will grow wrong. Others think it should not grow at all. A chill ran through Leo's chest. You mean they'd try to harm it? Kari didn't answer. But her silence was enough. From that day on, Leo stayed by the nest. He built a small wall of woven wood around it to keep animals out. He made a shelter above it, with a large leaf roof to protect from rain. He even set up small noise traps, simple cans and stones, so he would know if anyone came close. During the day, some tribe members passed by. They said nothing. A few gave him soft nods. Others only stared. At night, Leo stayed awake, listening. Sometimes he thought he heard something moving in the trees, but when he checked, nothing was there. He didn't want to think badly of Kari's people, but he couldn't take risks. Kari grew weaker with each passing day. She couldn't fly anymore. She mostly sat beside the egg, her feathers duller than before. She still touched it gently, humming a soft tune that made the shell glow brighter. One morning, Leo found her asleep, slumped against the nest wall. He quickly covered her with a blanket and gave her water. When she woke, she whispered, "I can't protect it alone." "You don't have to," Leo said. "I'm here. Always." She touched his hand and nodded. Later that day, Laura, the elder, returned. She stepped quietly onto the nest platform, her feathers clean and marked with white lines. Leo stood up and blocked her path. "She's resting," he said carefully. "I know," Laura replied. "I came to see the egg." Leo stepped aside, but kept his eyes on her. Laura examined the shell closely. It was now slightly bigger, and its light pulsed slowly. "It grows well," she said. "Very rare. Very dangerous." "Dangerous?" Leo asked. "It hasn't done anything wrong." "Not yet. But our history remembers." Last time such a joining happened, the child changed quickly, grew different. The mother didn't survive. Leo clenched his jaw. "Kari is strong, and this child, our child, will be different." "But that doesn't mean bad." Laura sighed. "I see your care, and I believe it is real. But the others do not see. Some plan to stop it." Leo stepped forward. "Stop it how?" Laura lowered her voice. "Tonight, one of the hunters. He disagrees with this path. He may try to come." Leo nodded slowly. "Then I'll be ready." Laura gave a small bow. "I've said what I came to say." She turned and left. As the sun began to set, Leo gathered sticks and sharpened a few. He wasn't a warrior, but he would defend what mattered. He placed the sticks near the walls and made sure Kari and the egg were covered and warm. Night fell. The jungle grew quiet. Even the birds stopped singing. Leo sat just outside the nest wall holding a long stick. The moonlight filtered through the leaves, casting shadows that moved with the wind. Then, crack. A twig snapped. Leo stood quickly, heart pounding. "Who's there?" No answer. He walked slowly toward the sound. Another soft rustle. Something was near. Suddenly a figure jumped from the shadows. A tall Talaran with dark feathers and a sharp spear. His eyes were angry. "You shouldn't have come here, human," the hunter hissed. Leo didn't move. "I won't let you near the egg. That thing is not right. It brings risk to the tribe. That's not your choice." The Talaran raised his spear. "Then step aside." Leo stood firm. "No." The hunter rushed forward. Leo ducked and swung his stick. It hit the hunter's side, causing him to stumble. The spear dropped. Leo kicked it away. The two struggled, hands grabbing, feet kicking. Leo was smaller, but he held on. He thought of Kari, of the egg, of everything they had gone through. Then, another figure appeared. Rune. The younger Talaran jumped in, pulling the hunter back. "Stop this," the hunter hissed. "You defend them too?" "Yes," Rune said, "because I've seen what they've built. That egg is life. We cannot take it." Other Talarans arrived, drawn by the noise. Laura followed. The hunter stepped back, angry but defeated. Laura spoke loudly. "Enough. There will be no more attacks. This child will be born and it will be protected. Anyone who raises a weapon again will answer to me." The crowd slowly left. Rune nodded at Leo. "I told you I wasn't sure before, but now I am." Leo gave a tired smile. "Thank you." He returned to the nest, his arms and side bruised, but the egg untouched. Kari opened her eyes as he knelt beside her. "You're hurt," she whispered. "I'm fine," he said. "You and the egg are safe." Kari smiled weakly. "Then we wait." Leo sat beside her, holding her hand gently. Together they watched the egg glow under the moonlight, bright and strong, pulsing like a heartbeat full of hope. The night was quiet. The moon hung low over Talora Thor's jungle, casting soft silver light on the nest where Kari and Leo sat. The glowing egg rested between them, larger now, its light steady and bright. Kari held Leo's hand gently. "Tonight may come," she whispered. Leo nodded. "We will face it together." Hours passed slowly. Leo watched the egg, feeling its warmth against his palm. His mind raced with questions. What would the hatchling be like? How would the tribe accept it? How would the world see a child born of two very different species? Suddenly the egg trembled. Kari gasped and leaned forward. The light pulsed faster, then a small crack appeared on the smooth shell. Leo's heart pounded. "It's starting." Crack, crack. A tiny beak pushed through the shell, then another. The egg split open slowly, falling apart like delicate glass. Out came a small creature, covered in soft feathers like Kari's. Its eyes were large and bright, with a strange sparkle that seemed almost human. Its tiny hands reached out and grasped Kari's finger. The hatchling chirped softly, a sound both alien and sweet. Kari smiled through tears. "It is alive. It is real." Leo reached out carefully, letting the little one touch his hand. The hatchling blinked, then looked up at him with curiosity. The tribe gathered around quietly, watching in awe and silence. Some faces showed fear. Others wonder. Lura stepped forward and spoke to the crowd. "This child is a bridge between past and future, between worlds. We must protect it." Some nodded. Others whispered, but none moved to stop the moment. Leo lifted the hatchling gently into his arms. It felt warm and fragile, his heart filled with a fierce protectiveness he had never known. Kari leaned against him, exhausted but smiling. "Our child." Leo smiled back. "Our child." Days passed. The hatchling grew quickly, learning to flutter its tiny wings and mimic simple sounds. Leo and Kari cared for it together, sharing the duties of feeding, cleaning, and teaching. The tribe's opinion slowly changed. Many came to see the child as a symbol of hope, proof that different worlds could join and create something new and beautiful. Leo realized how much he had changed, too. From a lost engineer on a strange planet, he had become a father, a protector, and part of a community he never imagined. One evening, under a sky filled with stars, Kari sat beside him. "Will you take us home someday?" she asked quietly. Leo thought of Earth, the blue planet far away. He thought of the risks and unknowns. "I will," he said, "when the time is right. But for now, this is our home." Kari smiled. "Together." Leo nodded. "Together." As the jungle sang its night song, Leo held his family close. The feathered mother, the glowing hatchling, and the hope of a future where two worlds could become one. No matter what came next, he knew this was only the beginning.